I know your kind. You think you can waltz in and just take our planet? Like you forgot one thing. I'm my father's son!
So Marathon Server Slam finally went live, right? And I got up in here and I got close to about 8 hours in on the game just to see what it was like. Now remember y'all, keep in mind, I'm not a crazy big extraction shooter person, but I've watched plenty of other content creators who play like Arc Raiders, and I even watched some of the Escape from Tarkov, and I've seen a little bit. So I'm not super well versed, but I get the idea and what I'm supposed to be doing, right? Well, Marathon is a different kind of beast. Marathon is not your regular extraction shooter, and I'm gonna explain exactly what I mean by that. So the first like hour and a half into the game, y'all, you get up in there, you do your tutorial, you learn how to play the game, you go through it, you fight bots. There's really nobody up in there that's a human being anyways that you got to worry about. At least I didn't experience that. After that, you get in there, you can get in with your friends after you learn just the smallest amount and you get into the games. The first like 4 to 5 games, smooth selling. We had a lot of the bots. We did encounter like maybe 1 or 2 teams in it and they didn't really want no trouble. So I was like, okay, cool. We avoided them, they avoided us. We went on about our business and got our stuff. We fought some bots, got the loot, cool. We understanding the game a little bit. That's not bad. Until hour 2 to 3 rolled around, y'all. Now, before I fully get into the next few hours, I need to let y'all know, in the first hour and a half of the game, we did a lot of the faction stuff. So we were doing contracts, we were getting a lot of good items, we were still looting like how you normally would, defeating some of the bots and getting good things. So it was a nice experience and it was a easy process to get into. Obviously, we didn't know all the values and what everything did. You're smart enough to know like, this is gray and this is green. We gonna take the green, leave the gray. That one's blue, leaving the green. Or try to, you know what I mean? Like you understand value system based on colors. Back in the hour 2 and 3. I don't know what happened, but we got the second map, which I do understand that Bungie said this is probably going to be more of a PvP map. Not that there aren't AIs on this map, it's just more so probably going to be you and some other real team getting active. Well, we had to get active. These heathens did not want to cooperate. They did not want to communicate. I tried using the proximity chat, which if I understand correctly, a lot of niggas said that they wanted that in the game and Bungie was making a mistake by not putting it in there. Well, shit, what was the point of them putting it in there if you niggas is never gonna use it? I tried to communicate with people the next 5 games. Nobody had nothing they wanted to say to me. I was trying to let people know, yo, we can get up out of here. We can all be friendly. We can just defeat the bots and get the good loot. It's more than enough. Nothing. Hey, I dropped one of your teammates. I'll let him get up if y'all be easy. Nothing. Okay, gotta deal with y'all. After that, here come another team. Yo, wait, hold up. I didn't even want to fight. I ain't got nothing on me. It's a free loadout. They don't care. They killing you. I said, oh, okay, so niggas don't want to communicate. So in this window of the 2 to 3 hours that we've now been playing, I'm noticing some trends. Nobody is really out here looking for the loot. So me and my boy is using free loadouts and we using some of our loadouts. Now at this point, we haven't fully caught on to what everybody is doing, but we kind of mixing it up just to see how is it to run a free loadout, how is it to run a loadout that we just got some things from. You know, we just trying to fully experience the game. And in the process of doing that, we're still trying to do a lot of the things for the factions because we understand that that's going to be really important. That's where your skill tree is. That's how you get a lot of upgrades and stuff like that. Well, at some point, now we in an hour 4 and 5. It stopped. Like we couldn't keep doing the faction stuff at all. Every time we went to go and do a faction mission, there were 2 to 3 different teams in the area. The second we started shooting at bots, these niggas rolled up like roaches. Now, mind you, the maps are not that big. I don't know if it's just these 2 maps that they got us playing on right now for the server slam or if all of them is like that, but these maps are not big by any means. So once I kind of understood that, I said, oh, it makes sense why they pulling up because there's not many places for them to go. So of course they can hear it and of course they're pulling up fast. But then nigga, we started noticing the game was spawning us on the edge of the map. We was like, all right, that's a little frustrating. But then we also realized, oh, we're right next to one of our contracts though. Would y'all believe me if I said the second we got to the spot, which was barely 150 meters away from us, again, Edge of the map is right here. The second we open up the damn room and we activate the damn thing to do the contract, there were 2 teams coming from behind. So me and my partner Jordan was like, no, nigga, something ain't right. You can't be behind us because it's literally the edge of the map. So you're either spawning in late or you was already somewhere creeped out in the corner, ducked off waiting for us. So we stopped doing the contracts altogether. And then it turned into if we hear action and smoke, we get the action. And wouldn't you believe it, that's how everybody was playing this shit. They was playing this like this game was Marathon the Battle Royale. Nobody was doing nothing else. They wasn't trying to get no loots. Nobody is doing the contracts. Nobody is doing shit besides running and gunning. And I'm like, dog, how? I don't have shit. So they must be all just sitting around creeping and waiting. And when you know it again, they are. I'm saying all that, and some of y'all might be thinking that sounds like a horrible experience. And I want to be honest with y'all, like how I have been the entire time I've been covering Marathon. If you are somebody who likes to play an extraction shooter, the traditional way, in a sense, whichever way that might be. Like I said in one of my original videos, bro, I don't know if there is a traditional way to play an extraction shooter. What I've noticed, at least if I'm going based off of Arc Raiders, is if you are a Arc Raiders player, this ain't gonna be your cup of tea because this is feeling very heavily PvP. It's not that there aren't PvE moments in here and there aren't bots for you to get active with. It's just niggas is running and chasing you down so fast and so often that you're really not fighting them. So I guess maybe if you were playing Arc Raiders and that's how you were playing it, which is run and gun niggas down all day, then you're gonna have a great time on Marathon. But if you somebody that still kind of likes to mix it up every so often, maybe not. Now, I do want to say this too. I have not yet played solo mode. I'm actually getting ready to do that today. While I'm pushing this video out, I'm gonna get a little bit more recording in with some solo gameplay and see what that's like. But while I was doing the trios, no feel, it was sweaty. Now I did learn a few things besides just that. You know, I learned the value system of the items that you get. I understand that if you get certain materials while you're out there, you can possibly even trade that into one of the factions and you can get a lot of free loot that way. And you just build your reputation up with them and now you'll start to get some free things or you'll get major discounts. So there are a lot of positive things in here when you are able to get into a game and just kind of get out there, loot, and extract. I think I want to save everything that I learned and give you guys all that information after I played solo. So if you're interested in that, definitely subscribe and stick around for that. But before we get up out of here, I do want to give you guys my overall first impressions. Now, again, after about close to 8 hours of playing, my first impressions, because people were asking me on my stream, yo, what do you think of the game? What do you think of the game? What would you rate it right now? I know it's early, but what do you rate it? What do you rate it? Honestly, I said that I would give this game a 7.5 right now. Now, I would even make the argument and say 8 because there are a lot of features up in this game that I do really enjoy. Like, for example, I love the heat system in this game and how just being in water or being in the rainy environment helps to keep your shell cooler for a longer period of time so you're not overheating. I do enjoy the characters on here. The weapons are fire. I do enjoy the AI difficulty, the look of the game, the worlds. I like a lot of those same things that I had already originally told you guys about. But where the game receives some negative points from me would be, I think that the maps are honestly a little too small. You know, because it's so easy for 3 to 4, maybe even 5 teams to pull up. And that gets crazy with the limited amount of ammo you got. And if you going in there with the free kit, which just going ahead and put that out there, I understand it is a free kit, but that is a ass kit. That kit is garbanzo beans, boy. But again, it's a free kit, so I get it. And you can pay for other kits like 2.5K, 3K for another kit to have a little bit more in it. So there is that. I'm just letting y'all know the free one that you ain't got to pay $1 for. I would say from my experience, it feels like the loot is scarce. I get it is a survival game and that's kind of how you're going about it. And maybe other people figured that out earlier than we did, which is why they played it the way they did. But it almost feels like the loot is very scarce. And not every single bot that you knock out gives you loot. The bigger ones give you some cool loot. It's not great. But now the really hard ones, which would kind of be like the area bosses, they give you really good loot. But we never had time to take care of them because by the time we took care of the first little minions, we were getting pushed by another team. And then my next issue, and again, it's not like a super big one, but if I was nitpicking, I didn't like the fact that it's like on the second map, especially, we constantly got spawned into the exact same spot. Now, I don't know if that was because of the contract that we had equipped, and maybe, you know, a certain contract puts you a little closer to certain things. But at least on that second map, we constantly got some of the same spawn points compared to the first one where it was like, you might get this spot 3 times and then here you go, you start moving all over the place and getting different spawn points. You know what I mean? But again, that's just my first early impressions. There's still a lot for me to learn. And like I said, y'all, I want to get into solos and see what that experience is like, because maybe it's different compared to trios. It might be like Arc Raiders, where trios is a lot more sweaty, but I hear solos is a lot more friendly, or you can get a lot more shit done. But I do really want to emphasize that I think it is a good game. I'm gonna play it again and I'm gonna keep playing it for a while. It's just, I wasn't expecting it to be so sweaty, but it still makes sense. A lot of people said Destiny players is probably jumping over here and that's where the sweaty aspect is coming from. And if that's the case, cool. I'm not saying that makes the game bad, it's just I wasn't expecting it. But damn, y'all, this is a good game. It is a good game, and wait until I get my munyon up. Wait until I get some good loot, then niggas is in trouble. But right now, I'm still just kind of figuring it all out, and that's okay. So that's all I got for you guys, man. I truly hope that that was helpful and insightful for y'all. Like I said, I got more that I want to cover, like what you should be getting, the mistakes that I made, avoid these things, all that stuff. But let me get a little more time, and especially in the solo, so I can give you guys the most accurate video covering all that I possibly can. So thank you guys so much for listening to this, and I look forward to catching you in the next one. Peace and air grease.